Tip number one, you say be holy and be filled with the Holy Spirit.
So the idea is just for Christians, we're often so quick to catch other people in sin, what they're doing wrong, and correct people.
Right.
And I think we'd be a lot more humble and gracious if we took a look within and tried to get our lives first, right?
Yeah.
And this is, of course, the story of the unmerciful servant in Matthew 18. He has no grace for somebody who owes him change because he doesn't realize how much he had been forgiven by the king.
Right.
So because of social media, our world just says, speak to everything, talk, be fast, be angry. And if we Christians would learn to just slow down, take a deep breath, work on our lives first, I think it would change our communication radically.
Absolutely. I mean, what you're talking about is really like the outrage culture. Whatever happens, we have to respond with an outrage, and critique it. So that brings me to your second point, which is really to listen to the person and not the position.
Yeah. We have categories for everything today. You're this politically, you're this age, you're this group. And we see each other through these lenses oftentimes, rather than just saying, here's a human being in front of me who's trying to make sense of the world. And I'm going to hear you as a human being before I put you in a box and respond to a position. And I don't know that we Christians approach it that way often. I mean, the Bible talks about, being quick to listen and being slow to speak. So my dad said to me, and it stuck with me, he said, son, it's more important to understand than it is to be understood.
Right. So your third point, now going back to social media, again, this is a common thing that we see where people speak about things they don't know anything about. And that's something you say, don't do. Don't speak about things you don't know about.
Because we have constant access to endless information and we have the ability to weigh into every conversation, there's this temptation to just always say what we think.
Right.
My father's really hammered home to me. He's like, son, read both sides. People may disagree with you, but typically they have good reasons as to why they disagree. So I just find it amazing. I mean, I did my PhD in an area, and some people will speak who've read an article as if they know as much as I do and their opinion matters on that topic that I've studied. Well, that's crazy. But then I find myself doing the same thing. Go, well, this person's nuts. I go, well, they've probably studied this a lot more than I do. Right. Maybe I should think first, research first, really wrestle with an idea before I speak into it.
You talk about how we can show love through actions and words. Now, face-to-face interaction, it feels like it's decreasing because we're just so stuck to our phones and we interact more on social media. So what would that look like to show love through our words and actions?
I think one of the best ways is just being a genuinely good listener. I can tell you're a good listener. You lean forward, you're listening, you're giving eye contact. I mean, these are simple things we should all know, but we don't do. And I think studies are showing that especially people as a whole today, suicide rates are going up, depression and loneliness. And some studies show that Gen Z, those college age and younger, define themselves as the loneliest generation. Now, I don't blame technology, but the way we use technology and the way it replaces human relationships, I think is contributing to people feeling lonely and broken. So sometimes just putting technology down and looking at somebody and listening to somebody is a way of showing love. That's what M. Scott Peck said. To listen to somebody is to show love to that person.
Yeah.
So if I want somebody to really care about what I say, as you said earlier, if they feel like I care about them and they're important to me as a person, they're much more likely to be sympathetic towards my point of view.